Okay, soon you'll be sitting down to watching the complete series book tag by me. It took a lot of time to film that because it's a lot of series really. But honestly, after I finished most of it, I remembered there's actually a few series that I don't own, but I still finished. So I'll put them here first after this clip and just put pictures of them. I can just mention them now. It's Hunger Games, Twilights, and Narnia. I actually don't own any of them, but I read them. I really, really loved Narnia when I was a kid. And yeah, buckle up, get some tea. I don't know, maybe sit your ass down in a really good chair. Because this is gonna take a while. It is. Enjoy! Next up is The Mediator by Meg Cabot. I actually got this bind up. It's actually it's actually 6 books, but I actually have this bind up where there's 2 and 2 and 2. So this is actually one of my favorite series. Favorite! Oh, it's so good, so good. Um, Came out between 2000 and 2006, 8, 4, I think maybe 2004. It's about a girl who's a mediator, which means she can see ghosts, and has to try to get the ghosts to the other side. So in a way, like a ghost whisperer, but she's very sassy and doesn't really want to do it. And she has to, instead of the first book, she has to move with her mom to her step family at the other side of the country. It's about trying to fit in and about her life as mediator over there. Really, it's really good. It's got a swoony romance, very good romance. Jesse, Jesse is the love interest, and oh my God, Jesse. Well, okay, I'm moving on. But the manager of Meg Cabot, check it out. Your library probably has it, or else a book depository or Amazon has it. It's been republished a lot of times. Check it out. It's very good. Very, very good. Next up, you have the Moon Chronicles. You have Cinder. You don't know what Scott is. You have Chris. And you have Winter. I would say actually my favorite of this one is actually Chris. Probably because I really love the fairy tale of Rapunzel when I was a kid. And I also really like Tangled. So it's really fun to read it based on that, really. I really like this series. But I do have to say, I think maybe it was Kate-tastic. It was someone that I saw today or something that said it didn't that said that the fourth one and this series was finished very good. Yeah, I honestly thought that you can might as well just end it with Cinder, or you might have done Winter, but maybe just have much uh, much thinner. You didn't really need 400 pages to avoid. I think it was just too big. I felt like a lot of it was filler. Really, I didn't think it was all that necessary, all that story really. And I also did read a comic book with this universe. I thought that was could have just been one comic book, and I thought the first one was really good, and the second one was it's good, I guess. I do hope they will return into a series because that would be really fun, really fun. And I do like this universe. I do really do. I do. As you might know, I really like retellings. And yeah, that's another series I finished. We have Biology. This one actually not time travel related. This first book, well, I think actually it somehow has some time travel relationship, and it's been a while. Anyhow, the first book is Text, by Mission Chris, and the second book is Child by Charmed by Mission Chris. Michelle Chris. It's a book with it's mainly set around witches, but it's also a demon aspect to it. I have to warn you, the first book, in like the first or second chapter, you meet some really scary villains. So honestly, read this book, the first book, during the summer or during the middle of the day, and sit in the sun because it's so freaking scary. You're gonna need to be able to just look around and be reminded that the world is light and the world is sunny. It's freaking scary! But it's also very fun. It has some great romance. It has great friendships and family story, and all in all, just a great world building. And I don't really have any complaints except that it's freaking scary at one point. But at the same time, the villain is very good, so you don't want it to be scary. So yeah, there's that. Next on Mission Chris, you have the Fate of the Teeling series trilogy, or the Teeling trilogy. It came out a few years ago. Actually, it was like big a few years ago because Thompson, no, Emma from Harry Potter, Emma Watson actually bought the rights to this series. Never happened with anything so far. Hopefully, it'll get made. Some people didn't really like the series. Some people read it. I think, God, the one from Fortune Tomes. She didn't think it was all that good. I might make stuff up now. I think it was her. But anyway, I really like this series. I really liked it. I thought the third book ended kind of weird. Not like perfectly. Like, I didn't really understand how it ended that way. It was a fine ending, but like, what happened now? But I did enjoy the series more or less, and the ending didn't ruin the series for me. It didn't. It's adult trilogy, high fantasy. I recommend it. Loved it. And next, you have the blah 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 Girl of Fire and Thorns trilogy. Girl of Fire and Thorns. It's Crown of Embers and The Bitter Kingdom. I might be doing the wrong, wrong, uh, uh, wrong, wrong way here. It might be the other way around. The wrong. What is it called? Wrong. Anyhow, it's actually this series. It's all the books are here. It's a trilogy. It's a really good one. It actually has fat rep in high fantasy. It's very fun. Very, very fun. It has actually Latin American in a way rep. It's a high fantasy, so it's not set in our world, but you have some Spanish and Latin American influences. That's very clear. So it's very fun. You have the chosen one and done in a very fun way, and yeah, it's just very, very good. And also, there's coming a spin-off book next year, so perfect time to pick it up. Read this one before a spin-off book next year. Highly recommend it. Next, you have the Graceling series or trilogy. You have Graceling, and then you have Fire, and then you have Bitter Blue. It's a high fantasy series. It's it has like the first one is uh, set in some time, and then this one's set before the first one, and the third is set after the first one. So there's a book, a prequel, and a sequel. Links both this universe. It's both different countries and universe actually. and it's quite good. It's kind of violent here and there, but all in all, it's a really good series. The last book is not perfect. Anyway, not the way I remember it, but it's not awful. It's not awful. It's not. It is worth your time, but it's a book. Anyway, there's that one. Next up, we have Finishing of the Rogue. This is a trilogy, and as a lot of other times today, this is a trilogy which is actually a companion series. The first two books are not that unlinked, and the third book is not that similar to the other. It's more tangentially linked, but it is linked. It's a high fantasy series from Australian author again. Well, just have those two Australian authors I really like, but yeah. Well, I really like this series. I haven't tried the contemporary books, but this series, anyway, it's really good. Trilogy. Finishing of the Rock, check it out. And of course, we have the Bloodline series. And again, I don't have all the books. I'm not sure what Golden Lily is or the Bloodlines. There's somewhere. Where? Not sure. Probably have to get new parts because I have no idea what those two are. But anyway, it's a spin-off series of Vampire Academy. It takes place after Vampire Academy, so you have to read the one to read the other, or you don't have to. But like, if you read this without reading Vampire Academy, you'll be spoiled. This one actually has witches, which the other one doesn't really have. It's very fun. It has. I can't really say the name of that guy because then you might be spoiled. It has a fun setting. It has models. That's fun. And yeah, and it has a guy with a crazy tattoo, really. A guy with a crazy tattoo. Check it out. You really should. You have Mary Case. You might think, is that a series? Well, it's a companion series. Kind of loosely because it's all based on around the same family, the same siblings from the same family. But the story is all completely separated. But you have the same family in the background. And this is the last book, Mystery of the Mercy Close. It's really funny. The other ones are funny. This one, it's really funny. Like, if you're 80 and you need asthma inhaler, don't read this because you might die of laughing. You pretty well might die. But yeah, anyway, the series is 5 books. This one has a theme of depression and mental health. The first one is about being abandoned, about being left, because the protagonist was left 2 minutes after she gave birth by her husband. So that's pretty deep, pretty serious, really. The second book is about an alcoholic. Second book is about a drug addict. The third book is an alcoholic. The fourth book is about a woman who her husband dies, so it's about grieving and being a young widow. And this is a bit about being depressed. So yeah, all of them have different themes that they play with, but they also have fun and action and, well, character driven. It's not that actiony, but it's character driven, really. And yeah, Marion Case, you really check her out. Well, check out her earlier books. The last books haven't been that great, really. Sorry, Marion, haven't been that great. I missed that, really. Next up is The Mediator by Meg Cabot. I actually got this bind up. It's actually it's actually 6 books, but I actually have this bind up where there's 2 and 2 and 2. So this is actually one of my favorite series. Oh, it's so good, so good. Came out between 2000 and 2006, 2004. It's about a girl who's a mediator, which means she can see ghosts, and she has to try to get the ghosts to the other side. So in a way, like a ghost whisperer. But she's very sassy and doesn't really want to do it. and she has to, instead of the first book, she has to move with her mom to her step family at the other side of the country. It's about trying to fit in, and about her life as mediator over there. Really, it's really good. It's got a swoony romance, very good romance. Jesse, Jesse is the love interest, and oh my God, Jesse. Well, okay, I'm moving on. But the manager, make habits, check it out. Your library probably has it, or else a book depository or Amazon has it. It's been republished a lot of times. Check it out. It's very good. Very, very good. We have Night School by C.J. Doherty. She actually talked about her earlier in another video, because she's also offered one of the other series. This is a boarding school, but it's not actually supernatural. It's actually more of a thrillery mystery. Well, no, it's actually more thrillery. It's 5 books, and it's actually secret societies and kind of mafia-ish stories going on. So that's quite fun to see, really, because often contemporaries are just lovey-dovey or someone has cancer, but here you have thrillers, but nothing magical. It's kind of fun. It's very, very fun. 5 book series, Night School. Check it out. Ready to go. Which of those books? Which books do you have here, Renee? I have Vampire Academy. One of my all-time favorite series. It's so very, very good. Love it. Love every minute of it, really. Actually, the first time I read the first book, I was like, it's interesting. And I already bought the second book and I read that one. I thought it was not bad. And then I read the third book and I was like, freaking God! This is perfection! And also, what did you do to me, Mead? What did you do to me? So, yeah, Vampire Academy. So good. Also, as you see here, I have the Ultimate Guide, and I have the 10-year edition, anniversary edition. Kind of wanted her to do more anniversary editions, but they didn't sell enough. I'm not sure. Anyway, highly, highly recommend it. Feminism and vampires and Dimitri. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna show you audiobook. I also have the the hardback of it. It's a book series I really liked when I was a kid. It's 5 books. It's written by a Swedish author, and the series is called Tzatziki. Yeah, fun, strange, but yeah, because Tzatziki's dad is Greek, and the mom, she had him when she was 16, 17, and she loved Tzatziki. And when she got pregnant, she very quickly became in love with a kid. Well, not in love, like she liked her kid. She loved her kid, like in a motherly way. So when a kid was born, she called him Tzatziki, double, because she loved Tzatziki and she loved him so much. Quirky but fun. So because of Tzatziki being young, well, he's young in the series. It starts when he starts in 1st grade at school, and ends when he is in 6th grade. No, 5th grade. So it's over 5 years from 1st to 5th grade, from 6 to 10 years old. He encounters bullying. He encounters family issues. He encounters alcoholism, lots of different stuff, and it's very, very funny. And because of the mom is young, she's also very childish, just young in heart. It's very fun. Unfortunately, I don't think it's translated into English. It's, of course, to Norwegian, but I don't think there's that many languages you can find it in. So I'm now just saying, ha ha ha, this is a great book I read when I was a kid, so funny. But you can't read it if you're English speaking only. Sorry, I mean. Anyway, I did it. Yep, of course. I've read Harry Potter as well. I'm not like, I wasn't living under the rock. Well, some people didn't read Harry Potter until now. ever. But I have. Anyway, I have. I have this one and I have another one, but it's heavy, so I don't bother taking it here. As I said earlier, I started reading it when I was very young. Loved it then. By the last book came out, I was interested, but I didn't run to get a book. I read it, but I wasn't like amazing or awful. I thought it was fine. It was fine. Like now, I might do a Harry Potter movie marathon. I might get the references sometimes, but I wouldn't say I'm a huge part of the fandom really. Like I'm not really sure which house I'm in. I'm in one house. I think it might be Gryffindor. I'm not sure. I just like out of series better really. I do. I do. I suppose it kind of has to do with me already before reading this being a avid book lover. So it wasn't like this opened the world of books for me. It was other books that did it first really. Red Pyramid, the Egyptian myths books series by Rick Riordan. Actually, some people really don't like this that much. I really, really like it. And I actually kind of always been interested in Egyptian mythology. I've always been interested in the pharaohs and the pyramids. Egypt has always been a fascination of mine. So reading this book based on Egyptian mythology has been really, really fun. I love this series. And yeah, also if you have any recommendations for other Egyptian-based books, that would be very fun to read. Yeah, I really, really like this one. It's a really good series. Very good. We have Percy Jackson. Oh, I've been filming some for some time now. Next up, we have the Skullduggery Pleasant series. It's a middle grade series from an Irish author. It's actually a series that Rick Riordan himself really recommends. I was recommended from a friend of mine around my god, maybe 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago. It's a middle grade series, but it is middle grade in a way that, would you call this middle grade? It's kind of like sketchy middle grade because in book 4 or 5, one of the villains actually play football. They kick around a severed head. So the violence gets a bit too violently now, I would say. So I would say like pick this up if you're 12 or over, but don't pick it up if you're 8 or 9 because I think that's a bit early. Also, depends always on the person stuff, but maybe a bit too much for 8-year-olds, which sometimes can read really read, but probably not this one. It's a series of 9 books. I have a few of them here. And then there's a spin-off trilogy, actually ended this year, but I haven't read the last book in that one yet. But I've read all of this series. It's very, very fun. You can actually read it in trilogies because there's 9 books, so you have the first 3 are like one era, and the next 3 are one era, and the next 3 are one era, and the last 3 are one era. And really, really good. Very scary villain sometimes, but also amazingly funny. Very smart sometimes in life. Like, huh, that's a great way of putting it. It's very nice said, you. Very nice said. And yeah, highly, highly recommend it. Series is actually a middle grade series again. Yeah, quite a few. Well, a few of my favorite series actually are middle grades. This one is actually originally a Danish high fantasy series. I read it when I was 9, 10, around that. It's the first book in a quartet, 4 books, 5 books. No, 4 books, 4 books. And it's actually been translated to English. And I think a lot of other languages as well. I'm not sure how many, but at least English. At least English. I have the first book here, you see, obviously. But I don't know what the rest of them are. I think I bought them from a library. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's really good. Feminist, very original. Not original in a way that like it takes place in a European middle age place. but at the same time, the characters are very original. It's very feminist based. It's very fun characters and great plots and villains and so good. And there's actually two movies. One movie that came out 2 years ago, and one movie that came out earlier this year, which is based. The second movie is based on the second and third book, and the first movie is based on the first book. So you should check them out. I'll leave them in the doobly-doo. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's called The Shamer's Daughter. She can actually see into, when she looks into your eyes, she can see all of the things that you are shameful for. Quite an interesting and fun skill ability to have. And we have yet again a series. This is one, it's actually young adults. It's actually 6 books. Don't know where the other 3 are. Someplace. You know, I have all the control. Anyway, I have read the whole series. Please trust me on this. It's one of my favorites. It's really good. And it's yet again one series where, well, it's not where everything is real, but it's all the Norse myths are real. You have the Roman myths, like all the gods are real, and they occupy the same space, like they're all real in the same universe here. So that's really fun. And the main villain is Loki, which you might like if you're a Marvel fan. He's a really good villain here as well. And the main character is Gwen. She can actually she can touch objects, and she gets flashes of who hold the object before and the object's history. It's really fun. And yeah, just all in all, it's a very good story, very good series. It's called, yeah, and it's actually based in a boarding school, so that's very fun. And it's called Mythos Academy by Jennifer Estep. Check it out. We have the Invisible Library series, another adult series. I have some adult series you can see. Not a lot of them, but some of them, as you see. These are the fourth and fifth. I should be more careful with what I say. Yeah, these are the last 2 books. The series is not finished yet. So the series is The Invisible Library, The Masked City, The Burning Page, The Lost Plot, and Mortal World. So again, in this series, you have werewolves and vampires, and all this supernatural stuff. You actually also have dragons, which is quite fun. At least I think so. You have time traveling, or not necessarily time traveling. It's time traveling of sorts. It's time traveling, but it's also dimension hopping. They hop between different realities, which is quite cool. It's mainly set in the 1800s England, well, alternative England, and a library is like a main focus for the story, and it's very funny. It has great cast, and the romance is just, oh, it's so forbidden, but like, you need it, and it's also like, it's not too heavy. It's there in a perfect way, really, and yeah, it was really good. And the villain, like you have some villains, some minor villains, but like the big villain, oh my freaking god, it's so creepy. So that's actually that series. Next series I have is the Percy Jackson series. Here I have a few of them. I have Sea of Monsters. I have Titan's Curse and the Battle of Labyrinth. Of course, I'm missing 2 books. I'm not sure where they are, as always, but I have read them. TGO is actually one of my main fandoms. I really like that series. I really actually like all of Rick Riordan's books. They're all very good. Let's say one of them I didn't like, but no, it's just me being silly. I love them all. All of them really good. As I said, I can't wait to Titan's Tomb, the next book in the Apollo series. So yeah, I read this one. started it all. Actually, read it around 10 years ago. Actually, I got the first book for Christmas 10 years ago. Really, and then my just love for Jackson just started. I actually have also probably getting now. I'm too lazy, but I actually have over there on my bookshelf. Over there, there's actually a Percy Jackson in Spanish because I speak Spanish, and I think I had an idea to try to read it in Spanish. I never did, but I actually can because I'm that good. That's bragging. Sorry, I have a decent level of Spanish. Anyway, there's that. We have the spin-off series of the Protectorate series, as I talked about earlier. Of course, also by Gail Carriger. This one takes place in the same universe, but 20 years before, more or less, the events of the other series. You have Etiquette and Espionage. It's, I suppose it depends how you define it, but it's middle grade-ish. It takes place from when they're 14 till they're 16. So they're end middle grade, beginning of YA, you can say. You have Etiquette and Espionage, first book. Curses and Conspiracies. Waistcoats and Weaponry. And Manners and Mutiny. It's a book set in a boarding school where the girls learn to learn to be spies, and they have a companion school where there's only boys and they learn to be evil villains. So that's quite fun, really. So you have all the boarding school tropes and the boarding school set things. You have missions where they go and spy. There was spy stuff, and it's just really. You got some great romance in there as well, and a great cast of characters, and it's just so good. Okay, check it out. And the series is called Etiquette and Espionage. No, sorry. The series is called Finishing School because they're learning to finish both the manners and your life. We have, as you might have noticed, the Iron Druid series by Kevin Hearn. They're pretty well known, but it's supposed not that well known in young adults community because it's not young adults. It's an adult series where, again, you might see a female where everything is real. So you have the Norse myths, you have the Indian myths, you have werewolves, you have vampires, even Jesus shows up. Everything is real. And it's very fun to see. I love, actually, as you notice, worlds where more than one supernatural creatures exist. They exist together and they coexist, or they co-argue and they go to war each other and stuff. Like how do they cope? Some people have given this series some beef because it's not because the guy always wins and shouldn't always win and stuff. But honestly, I like this series. I really like it. It's very fun. You have a talking dog, well, more or less. You have a telepathic dog, and you have a great cast of characters. It goes all over the world. I really like it. So good. It's a series on 7 books, and you have 2 spin-off series, 2 spin-off books, and it's getting a spin-off series next year. Iron Druid by Kevin Hearn. Check it out. We have another adult series. It's actually just 2 books, sadly. There's no more books. The author had more ideas, but there wasn't sold any books, so she only put up 2 books. Curse you, people who don't buy great books! Curse you! Anyway, the books in the series is The Shambling Guide to New York City and The Ghost Train to New Orleans. So the first one, as you can understand, takes place in New York. The second is in New Orleans. It's based around a world where you have zombies, you have ghosts, you have all these supernatural creatures. You have Norse gods and you have Indian gods, and everything's real. And a lot of them, or they live like around the world, but like in their own sub sub environment of the city. So it's like they have their own place in the city where they hang around, and a subgenre where they hang around and they exist really. And so this known person gets a job in a newspaper for the shambling, which is shambling is what they call themselves, the supernatural creatures. It's very funny. It's very feministic. It's full of LGBTQ plus. It's full of diversity. It's full of romance. It's full of romance. It has a lot of romance, and yeah, sass, and it's just great plots. And Sally, as you can see, just two. Why don't people buy these books? I don't know. They're so freaking good. I kind of hope that the author would self-publish the rest of the series because I want more. Yeah, moving on. Next up, we have Jennifer Estep's trilogy. The trilogy is called. I'm not sure what it's called. I don't think it has a name. Sorry, it's called the Black Blade trilogy. The first book is Cold Burn of Magic. The second is Bright Burn of Magic. And the third is Dark Heart of Magic. It's set in the real world, but you have like a fictional city where they have most of their plots. And it's set around a mafia-like society where some of the people have there's trolls and there's witches and there's stuff, and then there's two gangs gang together, and there's family intrigue, and then there's love, romance, and then there's friendship and found family, and yeah, it's very good. 3 books, Black Blade novels by Jennifer Estep. Check it out. Next up, we have the Parasol Protectorate series. It's the first book in Gail Carriger's steampunk slash gaslight series. It's an adult series, and I don't know where. No, I do know where. I lent away the first book to a friend of mine. But I have the other books: Changeless, Blameless, Timeless. No, sorry, Heartless, and Timeless. The first series is, as you can understand now, of 5 books. It's based. It's set in the early 1800s. So it's a universe where witches, well, witches, there might be some witches, but mainly it's vampires, werewolves, and and uh, and you also have vampires, werewolves, and blah blah blah. There's something else, and some sort of ghosts also, and yeah, and also you discover after a while shapeshifters. So you have all this stuff in the same world. They interact with each other, and you also have like uh, hierarchy. You have a hierarchy in a sort. Like the vampires they love tea and they love to drink the tea. The werewolves are savage in a way, and it's just fun. It's a lot of fun if you love Jane Austen, but if you love supernatural, you should really check it out. It's unpredictable, full of great uh, shipping stuff. It's full of great plot lines, a great world. It's just very very good, very good. Check it out. I like that. You have Iron Face series. This one is actually 2 books from the sequel to the spin-off slash sequel series. But I read those as well. I pretty sure I had the original series, Iron Fae. Can't seem to know who they are, but I do have them. Please trust me. I have read them anyway. It doesn't really matter if I have them or not. And this spin-off series is called Call of the Forgotten. It has really great villains. It has great romance, great world, just great everything. And yeah, Iron Fae by Julie Kagawa. Check it out. It's actually one of the first series, so it's from 2008 to 2010. It's some years now. Anyway, check it out. The first series is a quartet, and the second series is a trilogy, just 3 books. It's a retelling, in a way, retelling-ish, of the Medusa myth, based on the Greek mythology. So here you have a trilogy. It's not a companion trilogy. You have to read all the books. What I discovered very soon that's the descendants of Medusa, and Medusa wasn't a villain as you think, but she was a very nice goddess. And there's this plot to stuffing, and yeah, it's been a while since I read this, but really, really love it. And at the center of it all, you have 3 triplets. Of course, you need to have 3 triplets, but like, so each book does not have one character, but it's kind of fun. 3 books, 3 protagonists. It is 3 protagonists. You have the sassy one, you have the cautious one, and you have the one in the middle. And yeah, it's a real fun take on Medusa, really. I highly recommend it. By Tara Lynn Childs. The Home series. I have the first book, Clockwork Scarab, and I have the third book, The Chess Queen Enigma, and the third book, the fourth book, The Carnelian Crow. It's a middle grade series, middle grade steampunk series. It has elements of real world because you have Bram Stoker, a real person from our universe, our reality. But at the same time, you have the niece of Sherlock Holmes. So you mix their real thing and the an invented thing together. And in this series, you actually have vampires and werewolves. It all exists. You have witches as well, and also have time traveling aspects. Yeah, and you have fun dual point of views between Evelina Stoker and Mina Holmes. Mina Holmes is Sherlock Holmes' niece, and Evelina Stoker is the sister of Bram Stoker. This is series that I talked about a bit earlier, where the last book, 5th book, is coming out in the summer. Highly anticipated. And yeah, this book is very fun. It's very fast read, and honestly, just pick it up, pick it up. You won't regret it. Series is a trilogy again. It's actually a mystery series, contemporary mystery series. It's Death by Bikini, it's Death by Latte, and Death by Demon. It starts pretty fun and normal, and then it gets bigger and bigger. And it's actually not a companion series. Actually, you have to read the whole series. It's very fun. The first one has an island fun setting. This one, and then you have an urban setting and urban setting. It's a great series full of family stories and yeah. I have to say, I haven't reread it in a while. I don't think I ever reread it, but it is one of my favorite series. Highly recommended. And it's not that thick, so you get through it in like 2 days. Well, I suppose it depends on how fast you read, but like one book is not that long. This book is, oopsie. This book is like around 200 pages, so it's not that long. And that's the second book, and more or less the same size, all of them really. So yeah, and Death by Linda Gerber. Check it out. Mary Curley books, the Guardians of Time series. time travel. Actually, what started my love for time travel? Actually, well, just downloaded. But this one, like, kind of cemented it. Like, oh my god, time travel is so good! I'm gonna need more of it, much more. And then I did. So this is a series. It was originally first a trilogy, and then it came up with a fourth book last year. And there, I think this is actually the first covers. They've had different covers after that. Anyway, the books are named, and then you have the dark, and then you have the key, and the last one is the shadow. A really good time travel series by an Australian actually author, Australian author. Something different, really. It's a really good villain. It's a really good cast of characters. You have twists. You have prophecies. I love them at least a little bit. I like prophecies and romances, and all in all, very very good. Highly recommended. Read them. Another time traveling trilogy. Surprise! Surprise! Renee, really? Really? Yeah, I did it again. So this is Hourglass, the Hourglass trilogy by Myra McIntyre. You have Hourglass, and then you have Timepiece, and then you have Infinity Glass. It's one of those also companion series. So two of them are very linked, and the last one is not that linked. And they're connected by the characters. So it's not the universe. Well, it's the universe, but like the characters are in the same. There's a friendship, and the first book is one protagonist, and the second is her best friend, and then you have something completely different. And also here, I would say the third book wasn't that good, but the first two are really good, really. And actually, the first book actually has a American Cuban protagonist, which is quite fun. No, sorry, the second book has the second book. Sorry, second book has American Cuban protagonist. It's quite fun, really. I think at least. Outlast trilogy by Myra McIntyre. Check it out. Next up is the Heroine Complex. And how I'm suddenly so posh. I don't know what happened there. It's a trilogy by Sarah Kuhn, and as a lot of others in this video, it's actually a companion trilogy. So you can read them separately, but they make out a larger, bigger story together. It focuses on Asian Americans and Asian American superheroes. It's like you see, it's very funny and quirky. Like it looks very funny, like lighthearted, and it is. Of course, there's a conflict there, but it's not like, oh my god, stuff is going on, and it's so heavy, and so many themes, and raping, and wars, and pillaging. Then you have the Die For Me trilogy by Amy Plum. This is actually Norwegian, has a Norwegian heritage in her family, which is kind of fun, I think, at least, as Norwegian. But yeah, it's a Die For Me trilogy. It came out of the Twilight era, where everything was Twilight copies. This one I felt like was actually done very good. It's a zombie trilogy in a way. I reread it though the other, I think it was maybe early this year, maybe last year, and then I thought, it's not as good as I thought it was before. But it's still decent, really. It's still very good. It's not awful. It's not awful. It's fun. It takes place in France for most part. It's zombies in a way. The monsters or the creatures that it's focused on. It's a trilogy. Yeah, from Airplane. Look it up if you want to. Then you have the Geek series, one of my absolute favorite series. There's actually 5 books. You have Eco, you have Head Over Heels, you have Oops. Head Over Heels. What's the other one called? Oh yeah. Second book is Model Misfits. Oops. And then the fourth book is Picture Perfect. And the fifth book is Forever Geek. So it's a series about a young girl. She's called Harriet. She's 14 when the series starts. 16 months, I think. I think it just takes place over 2 years, more or less. And she has anxiety, and she has more or less zero social knowledge. She doesn't know how to behave in social situations at all. So if you're either on the spectrum or if you're very awkward, you can relate to her a lot. And she's also very smart, which she knows a lot of stuff, which is fun to have a protagonist that knows a lot of stuff. She's a strong female protagonist in her brain, but she's not a warrior. She's more warrior in her head, in her bread. Yeah. And yeah, in the first book, she gets actually discovered as a model. So she enters the model universe and she tries to see how to navigate that. And then you also have her dad and her stepmom, which are just hilarious. And she has a stalker, and it's just very, very good. It actually tackles issues of anxiety, of bullying. It's a lot of bullying actually in there. I really related to the first book, like, oh my god, I can relate to her so much. Just start crying and just remembering my own time and just, oh my god, the feels, relatability to it so much. And then there's more or less bullying, anxiety. I don't think there's many more themes, but that I can think of that. I'm blanking out. I might Google and just comment them more down below, really. Geekgirl, the Holy Smell. And then we have the Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda universe, companion universe series. So actually, Simon I actually don't own because I actually borrowed it from the library both times I read it. I want to buy it, but I don't have it at the moment. No. And I have an episode of Unrequited. Really good. I really like this one. Simon was so good, and this one more or less equally good, I would say. Really good. And then Leonie Offboat, I read it. I got it from the library. Honestly, didn't like it that much. Boo, let down for me. But anyway, is it a completed series? I think it is. You have the Holyborn series, Holyborn series, sorry, Holyborn trilogy, which is called Spinster Club. It's Am I Normal Yet? What's a girl gotta do? How hard can love be? And What's a Girl Gotta Do? The third book. It's one of those books like Anna and French Kiss, where it's a companion series. You don't need to read them all, but they're very good to read as a series. Each series has a new protagonist, but it's based around this friendship group, three girls. It's about what are they called? They have names. I can write the names down in the comments in the doobly-doo. But anyway, this one is actually about slut shaming and being a girl or a feminist in today's world. So that was very fun to read, really. The first one is about mental health. Mental health is the Ruby Reddit trilogy. It went around BookTube for a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago, maybe around that. So there's Ruby Red, Sapphire Blue, and Emerald Green. You might be a bit confused, like, is that how they look? Well, these are actually Norwegian translations. I do read Norwegian sometimes. So yeah, I bought them in Norway, my home place, and I bought them in Norwegian. It's a time travel series. You probably heard of it, but it's a time travel series. It's based on a time traveling family, and There's romance, there's love, there's friendship, there's karaoke. Yeah, it has all. Really good trilogy. Ruby Red by Kirsten Gear. Talking about series, and I'm only holding up one book, and that's when I don't have the other books in the series. Maybe I'm borrowing them away, maybe I've given them away. I'm not really sure. I'm not that organized, which you will notice after more videos. But anyway, this is A Time Between Us duology by Tamara Allen Stone. It's Time Between Us and Time After Time. It's a time travel trilogy. No, sorry, trilogy. It's a time travel duology. Again. This one is actually also one of the series I felt like it would be better to just have it as a standalone. But it is a duology. And it's a very sweet, nice romance. Time travel romance. Uh, and yeah, give it a read. Then you have 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Moran Johnson. It's a duology. I don't have the other book right here. I'm not sure where it is. I think maybe I don't own it. Not sure. It's actually one of those series where I felt like the first book was great, and I felt like the second book it added some stuff. Like it was fun that I went to Denmark, but like for most part, I didn't feel like it was needed really. So I felt it fit better as a standalone. But it is a series, included here. 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Moran Johnson, contemporary duology. This is the Mate States series. It's a contemporary series. I was a part of a book club when I was younger, where you got two books each month, and this was one of the books that you got sometimes because it was part of that deal. It's you can see probably this version is Norwegian, but it's originally in English. It's originally from UK, Mate States, and etc. etc. Because all the books start with Mate States. It's by Kathy Hopkins. It's a very fun contemporary book focusing on friendship, on school stress, and on boys. I think it's very good if you're 10 to 12. If you're older, it's fun to read for nostalgia, but it's very much meant for that age group, I think. It's not like sophisticated and like amazing. Like rereading it now, it's fun, but it's most nostalgic when I'm rereading it now. It is. There are very short books and fun books. It's actually a series that's stopped at 10 books. There's a lot of books there. And I read the whole series because I'm talking about now. It's the Passenger duology by Alexander Bracken. You have Passenger and Wayfarer. It's a time traveling series. Again, I love time travel. You're gonna see a lot of them in this video, really. They're both pretty thick books, but you don't really mind because they're so good. I love them. Some people say that they felt that second book was not good, or that I felt that the first book wasn't good, or the whole series wasn't good. I love it. I love it. Time traveling, pirates, all over. It's not just time traveling to one place. It's a lot of places and a lot of different time areas, which I love. The romance is so good, and then yeah, I just love this. Actually, because Alexander Bracken first wrote the other series, something which came up with Darkest Minds, the Darkest Minds series he wrote. I tried reading. No, I think I actually read the whole series. Yeah, I read actually the whole series, but I don't own them. I liked them well enough, but I didn't love them. This series I love, which is time traveling. I love time traveling, so that's kind of logical, I suppose. Yeah, I know. It's been a long video. One last one. Sticks to Crows, A Crooked Kingdom. Really good duology. It's one of my favorites and one of the ones unfinished. And actually, hot take! I thought the original trilogy was fine. This one I think was much better. King of Scars, it was fine. I think so far this duology is my favorite of those ones. It is. And also excited for the Netflix movie series they're doing based on this universe. Seems very cool. Yeah. Bye bye. So that's that. Incomplete. No, sorry. The complete book series tag. All the books I finished. Quite a lot, really. And honestly, there's might have been a few more that I just forgot. So I read a lot, really, a lot. Some people ask me sometimes, Renee, how come you read 2,000 books? You're just 27. How did you manage to do that? Well, I read my whole life, and a lot of the books I read are series, which are long ones. And if you read all the books in the series, it starts to pile up, really. I also have quite a lot of series, not quite a lot. I have some series that I haven't finished all the books, but I finished a lot of them. So I, of course, didn't include them here because it's not the unfinished book tag; it's the finished series book tag. And yeah, this is a way for you to get to know me and understand what I've read, and probably it's fun for you to see as well. I know, and that's that really.